Today is Wednesday. It's one day after a full moon. I am fasting today. Actually, I said I would begin fasting yesterday and even the day before. The day before, it was a kind of pseudo fast in terms of I didn't eat anything apart from in the evening, other than some 2 bananas, an apple, 2 pears, and half a watermelon. So kind of a raw food fast. And yesterday, while I was cooking for my father, I ended up eating a kind of Thai peanut curry with tofu, broccoli, sweet potato, and the such like. So not really a fast by any regard, but very low in calories, what people might regard as intermittent fasting. But today I will begin a fast. I have had this morning a large amount of vegetable juice, freshly squeezed, freshly made, probably just under a litre. I've also had 2 coffees. We'll talk about that in a second, which is one of my addictions. 1 week ago, I had just completed a 8-day fast, which coincided with Navratri, which is a traditional Hindu time of fasting. I come from a Hindu background, so I carried some extra weight. There are also a lot of other very symbolic things that came about in the last few weeks, or the reasons for going on a fast, things that almost pretty much propelled me in that direction. Some of them spiritual, which we don't really necessarily need to go into, but other things were, one very direct thing that happened was I had a very chronic problem, a chronic acute infection on my leg. It's been a long-standing problem. I've had a problem on my right ankle for many years, since I was 13, so a long time ago. But the leg one night, just very itchy. It'd been itchy for a long time, but on one night, I think I woke up in the middle of the night and just scratched it to death in the darkness. It gave a remarkable amount of pleasure, but when I arose in the morning, it was weeping, bloody in some parts, clearly kind of open skin, red, hot, angry, and then followed to produce a very large abscess, and then following on from that, more abscesses further on the leg. They then seemingly spread to my arms. I then also got a rash over both arms and even on my chest, as these abscesses continued to kind of spread up my leg. And just from the way of thinking that I come from, it was very hard to take the doctor's direction and take antibiotics. Also, the logic of it didn't really make much sense, something that I could talk about at length. But the logic of taking the antibiotics for what was diagnosed as a Staph infection. Staph's a type of bacteria. It's a type of bacteria we all have on our skins at all times. And the thinking here was that somehow it's taken a hold. I can't quite think of the right term now, but it's kind of taken a hold in a certain part of the body. And now it's spreading to different parts, and the best way to kind of treat it would be to take antibiotics, which systemically will annihilate that specific bacteria. In this case, flucloxacillin, which is a type of penicillin which acts quite well upon this particular type of bacteria, which again we have on our bodies at all stages. Of course, it's an antibiotic, so there's some collateral damage that goes on in the process. How much of that is understood by the modern medical practice is questionable. How much real impact that would have is also another question. At the same time, a staph infection can become very serious very quick. If it gets into the blood, sepsis can follow very quickly. Within a very short period of time, within 24 hours, your life can be at risk. And so it was a very difficult thing to go through. I suffered with a lot of pain. Tried treating it initially with a number of different herbs as well, oil of oregano, tea tree oil. I also tried honey to kind of absorb and draw out the substance, the pus that develops when these abscesses develops, and I was getting a lot, and they were spreading further and further up my leg. getting so far up, it was starting to become concerning that if they reached the groin area, then I really would have been in trouble. So it was really a big problem. I'd had a lot of pain, swelling, edema. I was taking some pictures and some videos of this initially, and as it got much worse, I just stopped. It was quite an alarming thing, and I didn't really know what was going on. I was prescribed antibiotics on 2 different occasions by different doctors and a dermatologist. And in the last instance, I just decided that one thing I hadn't tried wholeheartedly was a complete and total fast, which actually I didn't entirely do because I was consuming lemon water at points. I also drank amla juice at points. On 1 or 2 of the days I had decaffeinated coffees. I think I even had caffeinated coffee on one occasion with a small amount of sugar, but really, essentially, there wasn't much digestion going on at all, if any, and the system felt very empty. And you reach a point, with doing the fast, which is what I did to start treating the abscesses and such. You start to feel very at peace, as I did. So I did an initial fast. This is now about 3 weeks ago, for 6 days. Refed for a couple of days. Made a big mistake on refeeding on the first day. On the second day, just ate raw food in the evening, and did a remarkable amount of exercise. I think I cycled 45 kilometers that day, and then went on another fast of 8 days, which I've been out of now for a week, and I'm now thinking of embarking on another fast. It will be a kind of, my type of fast. So I will probably include some things that are rich in vitamin C for a number of different reasons. But I do want to just have that empty feeling again, go into a process of healing. The first time that I fasted, as these abscesses seemed to be just growing and increasing in number and going up my leg. On beginning the first fast, within a couple of days, you could see that the new abscesses just started to dry up and disappear. The kind of the spread seemed to dissipate. Also, at that time, I think I got better with the treatment. One thing in particular, the marigold, which we call in India genda, making that into a tea and then soaking bandages in that and using that as wraps on the skin was tremendously powerful. The instant impact and the feeling of kind of cooling and calming on the skin, I can't help but think it would be helpful for anybody with any kind of skin conditions, particularly things like eczema. I also made a oil with calendula, soaked in calendula, which is still being perfected if you wish, but I have been using that along the way. That also does feel very calming, but just the nature of the oil is more hot, whereas obviously with water and the flowers brewed in the tea, once it's cooled down, it has a much more kind of soothing, directly soothing sensation, which is great if you're suffering with itching and the such like. So I haven't healed completely. I'm definitely out of what was some very difficult moments. And bandaging myself, for instance, on your arms was complicated and frustrating, and also doing the hot and cold treatments and soaking the leg in things like Epsom salts. Self-treating it was quite a complicated affair. I think now what I know, I think I'll be able to treat it much quicker. But one part of that treatment, which is inescapable to me, is the power of fasting. And I'd like to go back into fasting again. I have lost a lot of weight, lost a lot of muscle. I was a member of a gym for a few months back before September. And wasn't able to attend all of September because of the problems with my leg. And I developed quite a good muscular tone, let's say. So I'm now 6 kilos lighter. Clearly lost a lot of that muscular tone. Still looking quite good, I would say. So we'll see how we go, and I'll try and make this. We'll see if I can kind of maybe document some things that are good. I have a number of health challenges. I was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago. I have a big issue going on in my teeth situation with a bridge that I have in there as well. So it's not like I can be one of those people who's talking about health and talk about it in terms of everything is okay, because it's not. There are definite challenges that I have, and this leg thing in particular is a unique challenge. So I mean, at the moment, last night I didn't actually have this problem, but most nights in the previous week I've been waking up in the middle of the night. The leg is remarkably itchy, and I've been scratching it, and any healing that's been going on during the day seems to be overcome and worsened. So I need to find a way, as the skin's been healing, which it has healed a lot, to allow it to continue its healing without, of being overcome by the sensation to itch. So I'm going to just get this video out there. I'm going to start vlogging from today. Let's see where we go with this. Hopefully it'll be of use documenting it. I have been speaking with one medical friend who, in the fact that I've resolved this staph infection, was quite amazed and suggested that I should have documented what had gone on. So let's do that from today.